So let's look at this graph as an extra example. Okay, I notice along my x-axis it's minutes since the ride began. On my y-axis it says height, so maybe this is another roller coaster. Question 1 says identify the y-intercept. I know that the y-intercept is where your line touches or crosses your y-axis. We always write it as an ordered pair. X is always 0. And then whatever my y value is. So here's my y-axis. And I cross or I touch right here, and that point would be at 0, 0. So 0 minutes since the ride began, I'm 0 feet above the ground. My absolute minimum, we're looking for the lowest y value no matter where it occurs. Okay, so my absolute minimum, remember we look up and down, it's a y value. These can be endpoints. So if I'm looking right here, this is my lowest. It actually occurs twice at the beginning and the end of the ride. My absolute minimum would be 0. My absolute maximum, again, I'm looking up and down on my y-axis, and the maximum here can be an endpoint. It can be in the middle of the graph, but I'm looking for the highest point no matter what. So my eyes are drawn to this point right here, and if I draw a straight line over or I use a ruler, you can see that it occurs at 400. And so 400 would be my absolute maximum. All right, domain. Remember, for domain, we're looking at our x values or our inputs. Writing it in set notations means we're going to use our fancy brackets. I'm going to put my x in the middle, end with a fancy bracket, and I'm looking horizontally from left to right along my x-axis. So I notice my graph starts right here, and that's at a 0. And I'm going all the way over here, and I'm ending at 60. All right, our range. Remember, our range is our y values. So we're looking vertically up and down or low to high. Again, we're going to use our fancy brackets. We're going to use a y. And remember, your range matches your absolute minimum and your absolute maximum. So if I'm noticing my graph starts down here at a 0, and it goes all the way up, not to 600, my line or my roller coaster stops at this 400. So notice that matches questions 2 and 3. Okay, my independent variable. Independent variable here is x, which means minutes since the time or the ride began. My dependent variable here would be y, and that stands for the height in feet. Is this graph continuous or discrete? Discrete means individual points not connected by a line or a curve. Continuous means we can draw it without picking up our pen or our pencil, and it is connected by a line or a curve. So the data in this graph right here would be continuous.